Hey, this is Chris. Hope you're doing well, and welcome to Popcorn Finance, a show where we discuss finance and about the time it takes to make a bag of popcorn. Excited that you all come back to join me for another episode. And the voice that you heard back there is Farnoosh Torabi. How are you doing?
Hi, Chris. I'm well. I love Popcorn Finance. It's so brilliant. I love microwave popcorn too.
I don't know if
and
there's
it's
a
not
better
very
snack,
good
right?
for you, though. I hear.
Don't say that.
I don't know. You're supposed to make it over the stove or whatever, but I'm a big fan of microwave popcorn.
Oh, me too. You know, I have an air popper, so I think I'm trying to.
Okay,
maybe it helps me be
you're
able
good.
to-
You're healthy. You're safe.
I just pour a bunch of oil and sugar and salt on it anyway.
Yeah.
So
Fat is the new fat. I don't know. Everyone's on a full fat diet now. I can't keep up anymore with what you're supposed to do or not do.
yeah. I've been on that diet for years, so I'm happy I'm on trend. Well, I appreciate you letting me come into your space because right
Thank
now
you.
we're recording inside of Stack's house out here
Yeah.
in Los Angeles. And it's a beautiful place. It's, as I've heard you refer to it, a pop-up with a purpose. And the purpose is to empower women financially.
Yes.
And well, let me give everyone a little background. For those of you who aren't familiar with Farnoosh and who you are and what you do. So you're the host of the very popular podcast, So Money. You're also the author of When She Makes More and dabbler in stand-up comedy.
I'm trying, Chris. I have recently discovered a passion for comedy. It's not like a discovery. I think I always was that person who loved to watch comedy. I would go to all the comedy. When I moved to New York City, I would go to a comedy show as often as I could. Always so impressed and fascinated and intrigued by the whole process. I'm not shy on stage. I did all the theater stuff growing up, but there's something really scary about putting yourself out on a stage with a microphone, testing out your jokes in front of an audience. You have to really be cool with rejection and vulnerability. And it was always like a bucket list item for me. And I finally just decided life is too short. Let's do it. And I took a comedy class, a stand-up comedy class last summer. The culmination of that being you had to get on a stage in front of hundreds of people and do your act, 5 minutes, 6 minutes. And I didn't bomb. You can Google it. You can YouTube it.
Really?
Yeah, Gotham Comedy, Farnoosh Torabi. You're welcome. Sorry, and you're welcome.
Well, I want to ask you, this is my first question for you here. What's scarier, starting a pop-up halfway across, or not halfway, all the way across
all
the
the
country,
way, yeah.
or your first stand-up experience?
Definitely the pop-up because there's more at stake. If I bomb on stage, it's just my ego, I'm not trying to make a career of this. Although, hey, if anyone would like to hire me, I am interested in those conversations, but it's more just a passion project. And Stack's House definitely is a passion play, but it's also, a self-funded, me and my two co-founders, we put a lot of our, not a lot, but we put substantial money behind this, our reputations, our hopes and dreams, and it's like, giving birth to a child. You have a lot of hopes and dreams for this and you want to guide it. But there are some things you just can't control, such as the reception to what you've built. And there is a lot of learning along the way, things you can't anticipate. And it's been a journey. And so to answer your question, I think that starting a business, which is essentially what this is much scarier, far more at risk than, getting on a stage. But maybe others would disagree.
So you mentioned your co-founder. So you started this with Kendra and Patience.
Yes.
And so for those of I forgot, this is a podcast. People can't see where we're at.
No.
Pop-up experience is, I'm going to explain it, and then you're probably going to do a much better job of explaining what it actually is. But I see it as it's like an experience. You come to this building, a large building, and
Yes.
there are different sections or different rooms within
Yes.
this building, and each has like a theme and a feel to it, and there's great places to take pictures. But then also what I liked about it was you kind of sneaking in some financial education in there at the same time. So while you're in there kind of, enjoying this spot to take a nice picture, there's also quizzes, and there's also like experiences you can do to kind of just think
Literacy.
of,
So, right now, pop-ups are very much a cultural rage. Museum of Ice Cream, Museum of Pizza, 29 rooms, Color Factory. And I think part of what's fueling that is people are really craving the in real life experience. We've been very busy online.
Yes.
That now we want to get out of our homes and we want to meet people again. And also, but not to forget, social media is still a big part of how we communicate and how we engage. And so these pop-ups that have done so well, like Color Factory, like Museum of Ice Cream, they provide these over-the-top experiences that are extremely shareable. So you're experiencing it, but then it's something that that you can photograph and preserve and then share with your friends. And it gives you something to do and it's unique. And so we thought, let's build off of that already established cultural excitement around pop-ups that are often just centered around something already celebratory. Like, who doesn't want to get behind ice cream? I mean, everyone loves ice cream. Unless you're lactose intolerant. Like, even then, you like try to find a way to make it work. This is a pop-up with a purpose, Stack's House, where we are still giving you that over-the-top, this is 11,000 square feet here, over-the-top, sensory-filled experience, beautiful experience that you can photograph, you can make videos, you can come and experience it with friends. But we want you to walk away feeling like you actually learned something. We're celebrating financial freedom here, but we're also giving you some resources, some steps, some advice. We have programming here as well. You know, we're sitting on stage where just this morning we had Carrie Schwab Pomeranz, daughter of Charles Schwab, come and talk about how women can get ahead with investing, and answered audience questions related to getting out of debt and managing money. And so we see this as not just a fun place to hang out and take cool pictures, but also a place to learn and a place to ground you and a place to kind of provoke critical thinking around our financial matters. So yeah, it's a pop-up with a purpose and we're really proud of it.
I think the main purpose that I've seen mentioned as well is to support women on their journey to becoming financially free.
Right.
And so what does that mean for you? And what is it that you hope that people, specifically women, get when they come into Stack's House?
So, you know, women arrive here and men are invited too, everyone in between. It was designed with women in mind because we know that women have a lot of, we're behind on money levels, the confidence gap, the income gap, the investing gap. And we also know that in the next decade, there's going to be this massive transference of wealth from the old generation to the current generation, trillions of dollars, and 2/3 of the people receiving that money will be women. So we want to be ready for that. And so we wanted to design this space to meet women wherever they are in their financial lives. You know, whether you feel you have absolutely no basic concepts of like how money works, or you want like a 201 version, or you want an AP advanced placement version of money. We hope that Stack's House will give something to everybody. We have these beacons in every room where you can tap in to get some more literacy on debt management, on investing, on how to make more money, etc. We also have programming that really does deep dive conversations on things like the wealth gap, but even more specifically, the racial wealth gap and how to start investing when you are living paycheck to paycheck. Can that even be a possibility for you? And so we hope that we're providing all things to all people. We see a void in the marketplace where, you know, you have a podcast, I have a podcast, there's books, there's content, there's videos. We're in a really interesting place right now with financial content. There's a lot of it, it's a sea of it.
Yeah.
And I love that. But what is missing is the experience, right? And money can feel really intimidating, and you can feel like you're trying to manage your money in this sort of silo where you don't know who to talk to. You don't know how to broach the topic. So to have a place where you can experience it and also meet people, we think that's really missing from the movement. And we're hoping to fill that gap.
And so for the people listening, if they want to experience Stack's House, you're not only coming to Los Angeles, is that right? Are there going to be other stops on this?
We want to tour the country. Yeah, we are looking at cities like Detroit and Austin and Minneapolis and New York City, where all our founders live. And yeah, we want this to be our first stop, LA.
Oh, nice. So if people want to kind of keep up with you, keep up with Stack's House, so they know what's going on, what's the best way to do that? Or even if there's things you have going on that you want to let everyone know about.
Oh, thank you. Well, stackshouse.com is a great place to learn about what we're up to. I want to throw a discount for all your listeners. You can use the Girl Boss code and get 40% off tickets.
Thank you.
Just go to stackshouse.com/tickets. And you can go to our Instagram feed at Stack's House. You see a theme here. It's all Stack's House. And we would love to hear from you. If you don't live in LA, but you think your city would be perfect for something like this, you know, we really want to crowdsource this as much as possible so that we're, you know, giving people what they want, because, you know, we're 3 founders. We're passionate about this. We feel we are have our ears and eyes to the ground of what's happening, but we only know so much, right? We need everyone else to inform us, to tell us what's important. And again, you know, people who go through Stack's House, as they take our quizzes and as they learn about financial literacy through our beacons, we're learning about them too, you know, and that's data that we're going to look at anonymously, of course, and be able to understand where people's needs really lie financially.
Oh, perfect. And I'll put all that in the show notes so other people can easily go and check out
Thank
what you have
you.
going on. So thank you. Appreciate you coming and joining me.
Love having
let me
you
join
here.
you.
Absolutely. You're always welcome.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Your boy keep it poppin' like Mary Poppins.